And I say this to all my friends and all my boys, just don't have kids out of wedlock. If you're not, like for me personally, the best advice I can give is that if you're gonna bring a child into this world, try your best for it to be in a stable scenario. Yeah. So learn from maybe my mistakes. Okay. Do you get what I mean?
So that's something that you actively say?
That's something I actively say. Okay. Do you get what I mean? Learn from the way that I've gone about it and do it differently. Do you get what I mean? Okay.
So
and I want my son to grow up in that way.
Share that particular message.
To my beautiful girls, your smiles warm my heart. You turn bad days into good evenings. I promise to listen, to share, to guide, to provide, to protect, to love. All that is mine is yours. This is Stories by Emeka, the Fatherhood series.
Reblah.
My brother.
Welcome. It's good to see you, man.
I'm trying to literally concentrate on this swing. Can't be embarrassing myself.
We're here. Let me just show you before we get into the serious business.
Okay.
We've got a leaderboard going on here.
Hey.
All right. Lee, still 195 right now. People you know, Gabriel. So I'm guessing that's your target.
Bro, I've got a target. I can't, bro, you're telling me 45, he's saying 145. Gabs, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you today.
Coming for you. But I'm on my own thing over here.
Woo!
205.
Yeah, but you're here every day.
Yeah, it's true.
You're here every day.
Exactly.
That's not even fair.
It doesn't even count. But yeah, so today we're going to have a conversation about fatherhood.
Beautiful.
Just hit a few rounds.
Okay.
And then, yeah, just a nice little conversation as well. So
okay.
But yeah, let me let you get your first few shots in.
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there. So yeah, feel free.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Your first. So now it's going to start recording your shots. It's all right. It's all right. Just get that form. That's it.
Yeah, at least we're hitting. We're going somewhere.
Yeah.
But we can do stronger.
Yeah. 50.
Yeah.
Plus the 50.
Yeah. Cool.
You know what I mean?
For learner, you're gonna be stronger.
Is it?
First time, you're gonna be stronger.
Okay.
Make sure you're consistent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
As long as you get above 50.
That's
Consistently.
okay. Cool. That's
Go through again. Go through
okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm getting another opportunity.
Yeah. So you get 5 shots in a row. Okay, look at that.
Oh my days!
Okay.
We're progressing.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta get.
That's progress, trust me.
Okay.
Every little progress is progress.
Okay.
You eat that consistently.
Yeah.
Now you can work on your
Hitting.
flower and then
Okay.
Yeah. Give you a last shot and then we get into the convo.
All right. Cool. Is it recording? It doesn't matter.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. At least I'm hitting it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like he said, the technique's improving. So yeah.
Welcome, Fatherhood Conversations.
Okay.
So yeah, before we get into it,
Yeah.
I need the 3 words that you do just to describe yourself as a father. What 3 words would you use to describe yourself as a father?
Understanding,
Okay.
loving,
Yeah.
motivated.
Motivating. Okay. So break those 3 down for me individually. And
So the
why
first I said was
loving.
loving. I think love is something that kind of conquers everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think as a father, you're always going to demonstrate unconditional love to a child. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Whereas, they're a seed which, for me, I'm a man of faith, which God has planted in you to bring life into this world. It's important that you show love to the responsibility that God has given you. Yeah. That's one thing for me.
You said understanding.
Understanding. I think understanding that, me as an individual, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
So my children will go through things in life where they will learn. They will fall and they will stumble. But as a father, I have to look at them with an eye of grace, with a heart of grace. Do you get what I mean? And just be a bit more compassionate and understanding with that child. And I think the final one I said was motivating. And the reason why I said motivating is because as a father, you know, even as a leader in general of a household, you know, I'm a married man, you have to motivate a child. You understand? You have to encourage them. But sometimes your motivation is by also leading by example. Rather than explaining too much to a child, you show them how you're doing in your own life, how you're progressing in your own life. And you have to motivate them in this life, which can be challenging. Do you understand? You have to speak life over them. You have to speak encouragement over them. And you understand? And that way you'll see children, you know, flourish. No matter where they are currently, no matter what happens in life, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where they're going to stay. Do you understand?
No, I hear that. In terms of your family structure,
Yeah.
you said you're married.
Yeah.
How many kids and what's the dynamics in your household? How many kids do you have and how old are they?
Okay, cool. So I've got 3 kids.
Okay.
14, 13, and my youngest is 6. So 2 boys and a girl.
You're an OG in this game.
I'm an OG, man. I'm an OG.
Yeah, so, okay, so 2 boys and a girl?
Yeah, 2 boys and a girl.
Okay. So, in terms of your marriage, how long have you been married for?
I've been married for I hope you can hear me on the recording and everything
it's fine.
properly.
Yeah.
You know the wind is winding.
Yeah.
The wind is winding.
These mics are excellent mics.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I've been married for 7 years.
Okay.
You know, all glory to God. And going on 8. Which it should be, man, damn, I put myself on the spot, but September, I think.
Can't get that one wrong.
September is, you know, it'll be 8 years of marriage in September,
Okay. So in terms of, let's sort of rewind back to
Before.
first becoming a father.
Yeah.
Was that, you said 14 years ago, so obviously you weren't married then. So talk to me about that period just before you became a father. What was life like then for you?
Yeah.
The point where you found out you was going to be a father, and was there any sort of immediate changes that you feel that you needed to make in order to take on this lifelong responsibility?
100%. I think, you know, that was the initial transition of my life on when to look at things from a more serious perspective.
Yeah.
I think growing up in London as much, or South London, as much as you're educated, you're also a product of your environment. And, you know, I think not necessarily having, I had wonderful, you know, I had wonderful parent. You get what I mean? I had a wonderful mother who was very invested in me. But I think I didn't necessarily have that guidance. You know, like, I get along with my father, but he was there, but you know, Niger, and you get what I mean? And
inconsistency.
Yeah, and he, you know, I don't, from my young days, you know, he wasn't, it's not like he was married to my mother, you understand? So I also have a stepmother who I get along with, and other siblings, but, you know, it was more, I still had a stepfather who was good, but, you know, we just didn't necessarily
connect.
We connected, but not really. Like, if it weren't really WWF and you know what I mean, football, you understand? So that's. But he's a good man. You understand? And
And then the point where you found out you was going to be a dad. What kind of relationship were you at that period? Because I feel like the reason I asked that is because sometimes there tends to be some instability when you first becoming a father at a young age and not fully understanding what that journey will be, especially with the person that you're having a child with at the time, because there are some key conversations that necessarily might not have happened, especially in those early ages of sort of early 20s, you know, when you're first becoming a father. So what was life
to
like?
Be honest with you, previously I have 2 children in my marriage, and I have 1 previously.
So literally just like me. So my eldest, who's going to be 12, my previous relationship, and my 2 current daughters are in my marriage.
So I think, you know, in general, you know, just having any child that you bring into the world, you know, you would like for some form of stability. You understand? But sometimes in life, you're not necessarily compatible. You're not really, you know, you're not guided in certain things. And I think just, you know, bringing my, you know, or having a son, you know, especially not necessarily having that much of a present father figure in my life, I wanted to make a bit more of a difference. You get what I mean? But sometimes, you know, God, his time is, you get what I mean? His time is perfect. Like now, I'm in that situation and it's beautiful for my life. And, you know, but I think not necessarily having that guidance, and I think not necessarily having that kind of mentorship, people around you. I wasn't really in my faith as I am now. So now, like, I do like minister and teach the gospel and stuff like that. So it's a bit different for me from where I am now in life. Whereas previously I didn't have that guidance. I was lost.
So you didn't feel prepared. You didn't feel ready.
I was prepared I was prepared a little bit more from, like, do you get, God have mercy, I was a bit more of a criminal. Do you get what I mean? So the money wasn't necessarily as much, as an issue.
But what about your mindset, for instance?
My mindset, I didn't really have, I can't really think of somebody who was in a scenario like me, who was like probably about 19. I know brothers that did have a child, but after they had the child, you didn't really have much of a relationship with them. It's like, oh, bro, I got this girl pregnant, and that was it. Do you get what I mean? But I think for me, I wanted to kind of be a bit better, and I wanted to change my whole life, but I just didn't know how to go about it. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So in the immediate aftermath, was there any changes in you?
There were definitely changes in me.
Okay. What were those
I think
changes?
the changes were just a bit more around, you know, being a bit more straightforward in life, being a bit more understanding, looking for more from life in comparison to what I was currently living. Whereas I think I was a bit naive, potentially a bit arrogant in certain areas of life. Just looking at what you have in the bank now, thinking, okay, if somebody's lecturing you, you're thinking, brother, I've just made more money than you, so what can you tell me? Do you get what I mean? That was a mindset, and I don't think that mindset was right. That mindset was completely wrong. Do you understand? And I think, you know, money is the root of all evil. You understand? And I think once you're chasing a certain amount of, there's some things that, you know, people are willing to do anything for money. You understand? And we're on camera now, but just in general, you know, people may, you know, they'll hide certain things. You understand? Or certain traits or certain wickedness about them. But I think I was somebody who was a lover of money. And in the Bible it says, I believe it's in Hebrews 13:5, it says, stay from the love of money. Be content with what you have, because God will never leave you nor forsake you. And I'm at that space in life where I know what I can do to make a killing, but I choose not to. Do you understand? Because I need peace and I need to be here for my kids and I need to be that role model so that they can see a difference in my life.
No, that's powerful. So trying to understand, sort of building a picture.
Yeah.
In that moment where you've now had your first child, the relationship, did it continue? At what point did it break down in terms of the relationship between you and your partner at the time?
What, the previous one?
Yeah.
Bro. I think...
Because the reason I ask you is because, for instance, there's a level of growth that we go through. And an understanding, obviously, first becoming a father, and navigating not just how you deal with the child, but then obviously with the mother as well. Because this is somebody that essentially still going to be connected with you for the long term.
Okay.
You know, and so in terms of navigating through dealing with your emotions, because a lot of the time as men, we're trying to now please and make sure that everybody's good. And sometimes in the absence of what might be good for us.
If I'm going to be honest with you, because for me, you know, and I say this in all accountability, I don't want to speak bad on anyone, but I think sometimes in situations in life, some people, they see eye to eye and some people they don't. And, you know, whether that's that individual's fault or my fault, or do you get what I mean? I think for me, we kind of like, we probably didn't do as well. Do you get what I mean? Handling that kind of scenario together. Obviously, I've ended up moving on, marriage, everyone, you know, I'm sure. And I think we kind of, me growing up in the culture or the tradition that I have, I'm a bit more fortunate and blessed to have kind of, you know, parents where they can kind of more get involved. Do you get what I mean? And they kind of do the mediating. And I think for me, that kind of worked a bit easier for me. Do you understand? I can't speak on behalf of anyone else, but I just think I think long term it works out for everybody for the best, because you know, sometimes you can be free, you can do your own thing, and you know, I think sometimes, especially being married and you know, just growing up a bit more morally, like traditionally, culturally, it's like, you know how it is, bro, being an African person, it's like, you have a child, you understand? When are you gonna marry? You understand? And if the situation's not gonna be like that, do you get what I mean? You gotta move into what you feel is best for your life and your calling. And sometimes that isn't necessarily the best thing for the child, but I think there's always gonna be complications when a child is not growing up in a household where there's two parents. I just think point blank period.
Yeah, it's true, because at the end of the day, it's you don't want to be in a situation where you're just staying together.
For the sake, and you're not happy.
You're not happy, because what that would now do is, it's like you're doing the child even more of a disservice.
100%.
Because what they want to be around, if we're looking at the
love.
research, and exactly, is be around that love. And in terms of,
you
don't want to be a situation where the child is now detesting how you're treating the mother, or vice versa.
Because
they are now seeing this, what's the word of the last few years, toxic energy within the household. And so obviously,
absolutely,
things don't work out and then people move on. But in terms of parenting the child, in terms of how have you co-parented, and has that been amicable since obviously you've gone your separate ways, in terms of being on the same page in how you want to raise your child?
I think in general, I can't really, just being, you know, very honest, I can't really speak on you know, the other party as much, but I could say from my perspective, I would say it seems like it's working out fine, and I think my son knows that he's loved by me. He gets along with me, so I'm not getting the cold shoulder like, my dad, you get what I mean? He knows he means everything to me, and you know, I do my bit, you understand? The money's there, do you get what I mean? But it's just, I do, you know, there's just elements where just being transparent, you know, could I do more concerning time-wise? But it depends on your lifestyle, and sometimes that's not fair. And this is why sometimes one thing I've learned is that, and I say this to all my friends and all my boys, just don't have kids out of wedlock. If you're not, like, for me personally, the best advice I can give is that if you're gonna bring a child into this world, try your best for it to be in a stable scenario. So learn from maybe my mistakes. Do you get what I mean?
So that's something that you actively say.
That's something I actively say. Do you get what I mean? Learn from the way that I've gone about it, and do it differently. Do you get what I mean?
So
and I want my son to grow up in that way.
Share that particular message.
I think
when you dissect what you've been through.
I think looking at the advantages that I have with my children now, I can do
stark difference.
100%. Like the support that they have, you know, even though my wife is phenomenal, like she's, you know, she does a lot.
Shout out to the missus.
Bro, she's phenomenal. Get what I mean? But she's very invested in the child, but they also have that support, that strong father figure there, as well as they have the mum who's just, do you get what I mean? She's on it, she's hard working, do you understand? And I just think kids in that environment, they, you know, the way society is nowadays, you know, it can be sometimes very one-sided, and if you're getting only one opinion from a woman, do you understand, without joining, or, you know, or just from a man, because some people, it can be vice versa. I think it's best under a household where raising a child where they have both the balance, you understand, they can see the work ethic from the father and the mother, do you get what I mean? But the love and what it's like to build and really be a family, do you get what I mean? Because as much as you're a family with just a woman and a child, or a man and just a child, there's nothing like a man and do you get what I mean? And kids know they can't overcross those boundaries a lot more, because there's two people in agreement, in oneness. And I think, you know,
I think 100% agree with you in terms of there is a difference. Your mindset is different. Straight away, and you're having important conversations as a unit. Two becomes one.
100%.
You've married together. You've agreed to spend the rest of your life together. And obviously, even within a marriage, we all know that sometimes you don't get along, but in terms of it's how you communicate and how you compromise within where things might not align.
And I just think things are different, like when you're just being married, like, because no marriage is perfect. Like some people, you know, you get along some days, tomorrow it's like, and then you get along again. But I just think in that whole unit where you know that it's a marriage. You're not in a place of worry. You're not thinking, wait, you get what I mean? What's happening? Do you get what I mean? It's just all over the place. Yeah. And, you know, glory to God. You get what I mean? Yeah. Same culture, the best life for man. Like for me personally, and I'm not saying that, you know, any other parties are not happy. I think, they, you know, by God's grace, I hope they are. Do you understand? But it's just...
The situation with your son in terms of, how often do you have access to him in terms of spending time with him?
It's difficult because for me, it's mad like saying this even on camera, bro, but I'll be real, but it's like, for me, it's like he's not local. Okay. So it's a bit more of a struggle, and I think sometimes
out of the city, not local, or out of the country, not local.
No, he's in the country. Do you get what I mean? But it's just the kind of the way the process of kind of dealing with it. Okay. There's like mediators.
Sensitivities.
Yeah, the sensitivity. Okay. So it's like, and just life in general. Like sometimes you have your own weekend, especially if you've been working hard, and then it's like you've got kids in the house that need stuff done on the weekend. So it's just difficult because and it's something I always say to my son, like, you know, the time's coming where you could just be with me anytime you want, all the time. Do you get what I mean? But I think now, because of the way that things are, not that it has to be like this, but sometimes it's just a safer place where I think over time you just kind of get familiar with it, and even your children begin to understand what it is. Not saying that that's the right thing, but it's just that, as you mentioned, if things are toxic, it's never good to show that around children. And I wouldn't say things are toxic now, because I believe time is a healer. Like I think everything genuinely should be blessed. Do you understand? But I just think sometimes you just don't want to touch on things or go certain places where it's unnecessary, where life is stressful in general. Life is hectic in this country in general. So you want to balance things and have an understanding with your child, and give them that avenue to always reach you, always contact you. If you need me, I'm there. Do you understand? Yeah.
So how, I guess from your perspective as a father, does it concern you how this might affect your son further down the line?
Long time.
In terms of everything, obviously without sharing the whole details of what's going through, what's happening. But in terms of, there's an element of you that's kind of concerned that, you know, how would this affect him?
100%. I think every child, like even when, like looking at me, do you understand? Even though, you know, sometimes you can have a father figure in a role in your life, but if you're not that engaged in that individual's life, you run astray. You know, you end up doing things that sometimes, you know, even though your mum might think, hey, but you know that, hey, what you are up to? Do you get what I mean? And I think, but I just think that's you know, it's not something that we have to accept as, you know, as bay men. Do you understand? As black men. But I just think it's just a product. Like once there's separation, that's where the complication begins, bro. I think that's where you can try your best to make it perfect, but the scenario is not perfect. Do you get it? But it depends on the understanding that all parties have.
There's an emotional maturity that needs to be existent. And I don't feel like, especially in those younger ages, sort of 20s.
And I think whereas I was so young, I think things have changed now over time. But it's just that sometimes it's like, where's your peace at, you know? And I think you can't change some scenarios. I think one thing that somebody always made me realize, because sometimes, you know, maybe I used to panic, like, oh, what do you mean, nah? Or I can't see my, do you get what I mean? Like, not saying I was ever withheld from seeing my son, I'm not going there, but I'm just saying in general, like, someone made me realize one day that your son's always going to be your son. And I think about life now in general, and I think about me and my dad, and I think, hold on one second, like, you know, maybe one time he was explaining to me what's happening in life, and I'm thinking, bro, I've gone through this myself. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, I understand. It's mine, not to sweep it under the rug. Love is love. You get what I mean? And I will always embrace and show my son love. Do you get what I mean? And I'm always there. And could things be better? 100%. But sometimes life has its challenges, and I have to do good by what's in front of me right now. Do you get what I mean? I can't panic, you understand? But we can always do more. To be honest with you, sometimes it's almost like I'm even doing more. Do you get what I mean? Like, you understand? And it's like, at the same time, bro, it's, I just love all my children, bro.
And I think that's a power.
I think I love them all the same, and I think sometimes life has its ways, and the strings of life just behave a certain way, and sometimes things can be due to individuals' level of insecurities or just genuine life. But I just think also you also got to factor in life sometimes, as much as you have a child from external, you also have a new family, and sometimes the way you handle things, you have to do you get what I mean?
We need to dissect this because we share that commonality, in essence. But before we get into that, in terms of your own psyche, your own sort of mental well-being, having to navigate all of this,
I'm not saying women don't navigate. They navigate.
This is
Cool. But I have to cover them before I get stoned. Before I get stoned, but yeah.
But in terms of you, how do you process and deal to make sure that you are still okay mentally? So when we're not, so I can see Reblah and I can say, you know what, how's it going? And you give me the default response.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
It's not really good.
I think. For me, I dissect everything through the Word of God. That's my mechanism for being stable. The Bible says, in this world you will have troubles, but take heart, in me you have peace, for I have overcome the world. So I know that my scenario, the most important thing I can do for my child, which is raising all my children in the fear of the Lord. Do you understand? And the Bible says when they're old, they will not depart from it. And I think because I have love for God, probably why I have more love for my father. Do you get what I mean? Considering he wasn't, do you get what I mean? As much, you know, Nigerian people, like they believe that they were there every day. Do you get what I mean? and you get what I mean? But the reality is, I love him because that's what God has shown me to love, and you know, I'm at that level, and I pray that my son will also be at that level of understanding, which I believe he is. Like, you know, he's, you know, grandma's heavily involved in ensuring that he's with her, he's loved, he's in the church. Do you get what I mean? Like, she even just called me just before I come here. You know, when you gonna get your son? And I said, yeah, cool, definitely. But I have to also consult with my wife because work, schedule, I got music going on, I got like. I'm also in ministry, do you get what I mean? Even sharing, so there's so many different things that I have to factor in, and it's like, it's very easy to say, oh yeah, your son, but then sometimes you're always up and down town, your son's, you know, and my wife will even say to me sometimes, you know, when your kid's here, make sure you spend time. Do you understand? Make sure, you know, he gets a seed, and my life is hectic, bro. Do you get what I mean? And I think as we get older and kids need money, you need to be busy. Do you get what I mean?
It's finding that balance, isn't it?
It's the balance,
being
bro.
able to provide for them as well as give them the quality time.
Exactly. And I believe, do I believe I could do better? 100%. You know, I hold accountability there and say, I do think I can. I do think and believe I can do better.
To that, who holds you accountable for doing better? Is it deep reflection? Is it something that your wife does?
I think my wife does.
Okay.
I think my wife, she does. Because, you know, it's very easy for people to think, oh, she's a corp. No, she actually holds me accountable. But for me, it's just that, you know, sometimes men, the way we are, like we focus on other things, and it's almost like we switch off so that we don't have to deal with maybe how we may feel or the pain in that kind of area. Do you get what I mean? So I try to keep as busy as I can be.
So you're not processing as many.
So I'm not processing too much in. You know.
I think that's true, because keeping busy means that I don't have to think about this. I don't have to potentially emotionally.
Because I think I'm an emotional guy. Do you get what I mean? I can be like, you know, there's a saying in the scripture that says, guard your heart, because everything you do flows from it. And you know, I'm somebody who usually tends to wear my heart on my sleeve. So sometimes, rather than doing that, I just rather, as a man, just close up on that. If that makes sense, you know.
So now going into this blending families together. So I guess with my situation, like I said, previous relationship. That ended. My daughter was probably about 3 or 4 at the time.
See, my one was like early. Like I think 1 or something
serious?
like that. So it's like, do you get what I mean? Or even before that. So having to now navigate, obviously, co-parenting.
During a period, trying to make sure that we stay aligned. And my thing has always been, because rewind, I never saw myself having what people might call a broken home, for instance.
Yeah.
Where, do you know what I mean?
100%.
Because no one factors that in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but then when it's happened, because life happens, and like you said, people are not.
Let me get some water. Yeah, go on, stay there.
Are not compatible anymore.
Yeah.
You now have to deal with, okay, what's the next best thing? Because I used to do a lot of reading in terms of, there's a book I read called The Development of the Black Child. And it's centered around stability, the family home, this family unit. And that's what I was striving for at that period. When
Brilliant.
that didn't come into fruition, one of the things that I read is that both parents, even in a co-parenting situation, have to be amicable.
Oh yeah.
Have to be amicable in regards to.
But we all know. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
Bro, what men are going through, bro. There's no amicability. There isn't.
And I think it's down to this is the conversation I was having the other
Based
day.
on this society,
Yeah.
a lot of, and I'm gonna be real, like on camera, a lot of women they want more money than the love.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
And this is the problem in terms of who you've had a child
Bro,
with.
my mum never took a penny from my father.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Whether he's there or not, do you get what I mean? So it's very easy. Do you get what I mean? Whereas in today's society, you know, I'm not knocking, but it's like, it's always about the money. So what do you really want? Do you want this child to have a relationship with their father? There's man, I know millionaires struggling, stressed, like, do you get what I mean? Like, what do you want? Is it money, or do you want the child to have a relationship with the father? And I think sometimes, you know, men, we hold a lot of pride and we hold a lot of ego. So when it's like, we go through that, it's like, run everyone, bro.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Which is wrong.
It's an emotional reaction.
Yeah, it's an
isn't it?
emotional reaction, and it's not what they want to do. It's never what it's like a bluff.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's like
It's a double bluff.
It's a
isn't it?
double bluff. Like, man will just say, do you know what? 'Cause I say it to certain man all the time. Like this crying to me on the phone. I say, bro, pull the plug on that. Pull the plug. You understand? If she thinks she ain't gonna be, you understand?
Yeah.
See what she's really about.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, on some scenarios, that works. Because they think, oh damn. Now she's thinking, because after she's gone to check that brother, realize that you can't take on that responsibility. Because who's saying that the person you're gonna be with next is gonna take on board your responsibility and it's gonna work?
Yeah. Because within that, it's like, it's knowing the person. Because we didn't have these conversations in terms of, I'm picking you as a life partner to be the mother of my children, and everything that encompasses.
Yeah.
So in terms of characteristics, a lot of the time we were young, like I was saying this.
Yeah, I was so young. Lack of guidance.
Lust.
I didn't know. Yeah.
In terms of all of the things.
Books like
that
Five Love Language.
Yeah.
Like you don't read.
Nobody
You don't know
is-
nothing. You don't know nothing. You just.
Nobody
You
was
think with the wrong stuff.
dissecting from that perspective.
100%.
So then when life hits you in the face very hard, and then you're now having serious conversations, now there's a child involved, and then there's emotions involved. For instance, a lot of the times when there's a breakup, I think there's a statistic that says it's the man that moves on forward, that moves on first.
Okay.
In terms of enters a new relationship first.
Okay.
And so then that now triggers an emotional reaction to your previous partner.
Oh yeah, 100%. Which is normal.
Might not be conducive to what's best for anybody in terms of the children
Bro,
included.
you know how it is, yeah, in general, and I'm not saying that this is the scenario on my situation,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, what happens a lot of the time once a man moves on,
Yeah.
the woman usually tends to get very sour.
Very.
Do you understand?
Very.
So, trust me.
And then
And
obviously
you
that's
get what I
when-
mean?
That's where the beginning of a lot of the problems
Absolutely.
start to begin.
Trust me, bro. I don't even want to say anything because I can say some stuff that would just line up this thing.
I'll give two arguments. So one of the arguments is that somebody says, okay, listen, you have to know the character of the person that you're
Married.
Never married, sexually being involved in that. You're
Oh,
potentially have to
100%.
bring
Yeah. Bro, but
a
when
child
you
into
don't know, firstly, you know, like you're unequally yoked.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like with lack of understanding. Like you see the difference in my life previously to where I am now is that before I could enter this marriage, I was counseled.
Yeah.
I was guided. I learned so much new things, which kind of helped me to mature spiritually, mentally, physically in real life. I think, you know, before that time, do you get what I mean? I didn't know. Do you get what I mean? Even though you have a nice heart or you're a good person, like people can always see that about you, but I was just a caterpillar. I wasn't a butterfly. I hadn't blossomed yet to what I am now. Like some people say, oh yeah, you're, you know, I'm sure my wife, you know, some people are saying to her, oh, he's the best man. Like, but you know, I wasn't always the best man. It
There's
took
growth, isn't it?
It took a lot of growth. It took a lot of, you know, a lot of time praying. It took a lot of time being in the Word of God.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's key. So now we have situations where women feel a certain way.
Shall we swing some balls?
Yes, feel a certain way, and then eventually there's this lack of understanding in terms of how you feel and what's needed for the child.
Yeah.
So we're now stuck in this perpetual cycle of toxic energy.
100%.
And it's not good. So it's like, how do we move forward from that? Especially now when you bring a new partner into the mix as well.
Okay, yeah. So firstly, I think, you know, like.
Take a step back, bro.
No worries, bro. That nearly took my whole dome off. Jeez. One sec. Ooh, you see what I mean, bro?
All right.
1 second, let me let you focus on this.
Woo!
Yeah, I just think some situations are just in one, you know. Give me the ball because I need to get something on this sheet that's a bit special. I think in general, when it comes to how to deal with these situations, firstly, just life happens in today's society, but when you look in the past, traditional relationships, traditional marriage, cultural marriages, these things didn't happen. Do you understand? They're more modernized, and people are more like now, you know, they're happy to. Like I've heard people just saying, "Oh yeah, I just want a child." Like, do you know how much of an idiot you sound like? Do you get what I mean?
When
like,
I hear people say that,
like, it worries me. Do you get what I mean?
How?
Like, do you understand? It's like, okay, like, how do you know? Do you know this? Like, do you get what I mean? And I just think, you know, like, I just feel like these are situations, once there's a child, like, you got to think, you know, you remember that saying that first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes, you understand? A baby comes after the equation of marriage. Do you get what I mean? But usually, on me and your mistake equation, we did, you understand? Not saying our children are never a mistake, but we did things without guidance. We did things the wrong way. We were probably told, but we just thought, oh yeah, cool. Like, do you get what I mean? What African parent do you know that's ever sat them down and spoken about sex education? And it was never done. Do you get what I mean? And I think, you know, like, to deal with a problem that you can't mentally control what's happening in the other individual's mind. Like, you get what I mean? Like,
you hit the nail on the head with that.
I was talking to my boy, you know, just in general yesterday, and he was saying to me that, you know, like, when, say for instance, his child, like, he's now, you know, moved on, he's got a family, and his child came, you know, to his house. You get what I mean? And I think the ex-partner just ended up seeing it. She ended up in tears. Like, do you get what I mean? Because she didn't expect, wow, like, this life. Like, do you get what I mean? It's like, how does that come about? And I think, in general, like, I just think when I look at certain things, you know, a lot of us has made mistakes in the past. And it's how every individual's gonna deal with those mistakes differently. Now, if I'm more busier than the other man, I'm gonna handle it a bit better. Doesn't mean that I'm not going through a situation or I'm not feeling it. Do you understand? So I just think, in general, some wrongs can be corrected. And I think in life, that may be a scenario concerning my situation.
I heard that, man.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've still been able, you know, and by God's grace, on other side of things, he's getting the best love by God's grace. But at least under my responsibility, I would like my son to get married and do things the right way. And I think through the lifestyle that I'm living, he can see the fruit of that. He can see the happiness in that, I hope. Do you get what I mean? In doing things a biblical way. Do you understand? Not because I'm the smartest do you get what I mean? It's just I believe that godly wisdom is superior, and it's what's messing up the world today. From my personal experience. I've seen most people that I'm around are people who've been married for 40, 50 years, so it's possible with God as the center of that marriage. Do you understand? And those children do grow up to be faithful. But when you look at, you know, in general, you know, like, lives that are absent from that, sometimes you might feel violated in certain scenarios or certain situations. Do you understand? And you don't know how to deal with it. But if you're coming from a place where you yourself, you're happy at yourself as a man, in your relationship, in your love, in what you have now, do you understand? And your child externally knows that. Do you understand, bro? at the end of the day, bro, let's just call a spade a spade. If you're married and you've got kids, your ex-partner just has the child and she's not settled. She's not, what do you think she's gonna do? Like, oh yeah, life is, you understand? Bro, she's human. You understand? She's gonna go through emotions.
Yeah,
she's gonna go through. You're gonna have kids there. She might see on your Facebook, this one took these children to the when is, you understand?
Yeah.
Bro, you understand? Let me up the sun, let me up, you understand? Bro, it's just life.
Yeah.
You understand? And I think we have to be mature in these situations, bro. And it's a thing that a lot of people go through. And I just think for everybody, point blank, period, if you're gonna bring children into the world, do it the right way. Be counseled, understand your spouse, have really uncomfortable conversations. I think that's key.
Yeah, I think those conversations are not happening, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You need to get on this leaderboard.
Bro, this is...
What's that? 80. That's your best one so far. You still need to get.
I can, but do you know what? Let me get some more in there,
Just
bro.
keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going. Go through.
I can't, you know. But they say they save the best till last, isn't it? You know the ones there.
Go through.
But I'm getting the hang of it now.
I think you just need a power now.
Oh.
So I think you need to grip your left hand a little bit stronger together.
Okay.
And then just swing that. Like someone's trying to steal your car, bro.
Hey! I feel like that's the way.
Yeah, that's the swing. We just need to connect. That's the one. That looks decent.
Nah, do you know what it is? It's the height thing that I'm slacking in.
Yeah.
But bro, there's a first time for everything. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. So let's bring your current marriage into the equation.
Yeah.
In terms of
my marriage is amazing, bro.
That's what we like to hear, man.
Oh, bro, at least I'm hitting it, which your boy said.
So, with your marriage,
how did she get along with my son?
And what was that process like of her becoming a stepmother?
Yeah, I think she was really good.
Of that role, and were there sort of conversations around what that meant?
She was really good. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she was really good with that. Do you get what I mean? She was very good. She doesn't exclude my son from anything. She's going out shopping. She's buying all the kids' clothes.
Yeah.
She's buying all the. You understand?
Yeah.
But obviously, her being African sometimes coming into. You understand?
Yeah.
Whereas my son's like half Jamaican. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The first one, but I just think, yeah, she shows love. How she shows love, and I think for me, it's what every child needs. You get what I mean? And you know. She doesn't make him feel left out. She does a wonderful job, and the family, not even just her own family.
Yeah,
they've embraced. Yeah, bro, they embrace him, bro.
No, that's good.
Ooh.
I guess in certain situations, it's just like
that's I think family is key.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my son knows he's loved from that perspective.
Yeah.
This is annoying me. Let me just. Well, one second, bro. This is embarrassing, you know. But it's good though. It's good footage.
Yeah. Try from the tee, but my thing's always from the green, boy.
The way you hit it, was solid, you know. I just feel like.
Ooh.
Is that my one?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Is that my one? You got the height, but I don't think you got the distance though. It's good height.
Bro, was that my one? Jeez.
No, it's good. So okay, in terms of, so she's made him feel included.
Yeah.
So there hasn't ever been sort of?
Nah, it's because the dynamics is different.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? It's like
because the reason I'm asking is in some sort of step situation, some of the stepmothers feel like they're not entirely sure of their roles. For instance, with discipline, for instance. Is a cool thing. So it's like,
brother, everyone get disciplined the same. Yeah. Every child do wrong.
But does she feel a way about it because obviously
she'll consult with me. Yeah, do you get what I mean? So being a father,
consulting is the key.
Yeah, she'll definitely consult with me, but you know she'll give, but she has freedom because I trust her judgment. Yeah. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's all. I know anything that she does comes from a place of love because she loves the boy.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, bro, I need to give it some power, bro. One of them's coming on this leaderboard, you know.
All you need is one, to be fair. All it takes is just one.
It's the swing, bro. It's the swing. I just really want to get at my swing. You said like this,
I'm still trying to perfect the swing as well. So.
It's the power, bro.
It's being able to have the power.
Bro, I'm seeing some skinny dons really swing, you know.
So you've gone back to your original form. So let me.
Okay.
So remember, kind of put your face in that way.
Yeah.
Left hand here as tight as you can.
Okay.
And then hold this here. So I normally put my thumb here, so it just gives me a little bit more support.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, depends on how much power you're trying to put in. The more power you put in, the more likely you're going to miss.
Yeah.
So I'm here. So then if I go like that.
Yeah. Woo! Bro.
But again, that doesn't have the height.
Even if I have that, bro, that's fine for me. Yeah, but you got that African power, bro. I can see it.
Where are you from, bro?
I'm from that. I know, bro. This is
the same soil, bro.
But bro.
My fufu's like your fufu. My poundo's like yours.
Cool.
Just the soup might be different.
It's just that the swing, bro. I know that it's wrong from when it's coming down.
It's like, hold on. I feel like you're bending. There's a flow somewhere. So because you're bending your arms.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be straight.
Okay.
Yeah. So it needs to be. So
I get it.
Yeah. So your whole kind of shoulder needs to be straight.
Okay.
Because when you bend it, you're losing power.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Move then. I get what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I get it now.
Yeah.
I mean, at least if I beat that 90.
Okay. Bola, you don't die.
Hey, let me. I got work to do though.
Hey, Bola, 93. You so you're not lost.
No, bro. Hey, look.
We can erase that if you get higher.
Bro, I think I can do it now. You've given me. I'm learning so much, bro. Bro, we need to do more of this, you know.
No,
we need to definitely do more of this. Any questions?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me let you take this shot.
You said left. It's like this one. Okay, cool.
Okay, it's got the height.
Nah, it's not. The distance is not what.
So talk to me about your 2 children in your marriage.
Yeah.
So how are you doing things different? So for instance, areas where you might have felt like, if we're really reflecting, where you might have made mistakes.
Definitely.
So
what am I making mistakes in my marriage?
What have you learned from the first time you were a father to now how you're
big
father
difference.
In this
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's like having children outside of wedlock. Mm-hmm. Seeing the difference, it's mad.
So if you have to put that difference in words, especially for those young bucks that might be watching.
Brother, it's just like you're just there, you're accessible.
Yeah.
Your child can just jump on your bed. Daddy, this is what I'm going through in school.
Nothing beats that, isn't it?
Nothing beats that.
Being under the same roof.
100%.
All the time.
Oh, Dad, I'm going through this in school. Nothing beats that. And then on top of that, you know, you wake up Saturday, Sunday, you can all go to church together as a family. Do you get what I mean? You can all go to a restaurant together as a family.
None of this arrangement stuff.
None of this. Bro, it just gets long-winded.
Yeah.
It's a myth. I don't understand anybody who wants to bring children into that kind of environment.
Yeah. Purposefully.
Purposely. It happens,
Yeah.
not by people's choice, but if you choose that to be your choice, you're a scary person, bro. I don't trust you. That's my honest opinion, bro. If you can rewrite your wrongs,
Yeah.
you know. I held accountability for all my mistakes previously,
Yeah.
and I changed that, boy.
Yeah.
And God has been faithful, and I remain in God to remain keeping that going. Ooh. Ooh, that was close. Ooh.
Okay.
I'm getting better at it, but
So a question I posed to Gabriel,
yeah,
because he's a man of faith as well.
yeah.
And you said you're raising your children in
In the fear of the Lord, so when
Yes.
they're old, they won't depart from it.
that depart part is where I want to lead to.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We all grew up in the faith.
Yeah,
But then I got to 16 and I started questioning things and nobody was giving me answers.
I think everybody's a prodigal son, my brother. I think everybody has to be, especially if you've been raised in the right way.
Yeah.
Because you know, at the end of the day, you got to look at it's like you tell a child, stay away from that fire, it's gonna burn you.
Yeah, you go
But to
get
that
it.
child, yeah, you touch it and it will burn you. That's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Life from the outside. If you haven't tasted something, it looks good. You're hearing these stories. You're looking at your friends. They're doing all of this.
Yeah.
They're accomplishing all of that.
Yeah.
It looks like the best life. So you go through it yourself. You go there, you go there. In fact, you even go and have child.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Bro, and the next thing you know, look at where you end up. Look at how life, you understand? Some people end up in prison. Some people end up in different situations. Do you get what I mean? Some people end up in positions where they're uneducated. Do you understand? Because of how they chose to do life externally or chasing a dream which wasn't really a guided dream. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what that basically means is that no matter what, there's a lot of people that I know that grew up in the faith who are not necessarily churchy like me, but at the same time, they know that when life hits them with a storm, they know it. Brother,
Will you come running back?
Brother!
Because we need that understanding.
100%.
There's a power that's beyond us.
100%.
But then when things are going good, it's like we don't remember it.
Yes, which is human nature, bro, and it's wrong. It's wrong, but I think for me, yeah, cool. I've nearly got it. This is like a technique thing, you know.
Okay. How do we keep that consistency and keep your children motivated?
Oh yeah. Like you see, with my kids, like I know that even sometimes. It's not all the time they want to be in the church.
Yeah.
You can tell. You understand? They'll rather be watching football. Or they'd rather be watching Neymar. Or do you get what I mean? Which is life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But at the same time, you know, you're teaching them something. And they're like you see with kids, they don't do what you do. They don't do what you tell them, they do what you do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you lead by example. Like it's like me as a gospel UK rap artist. I've realized that trying to explain yourself to certain people, they just don't get it.
Yeah.
So you gotta lead by example, and when they see the fruit of your labor, then it's like, oh, that's what you gotta do. But unless people have seen things being done, they don't know. And then before you know it, one day they will be old themselves. Think, wow, like mum and dad actually kept the bills going for long. This how going along. On top of that, they fed us every single. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a blessing, bro. And it's like if you don't have. You know, there's a saying in the Bible, it says, if a man doesn't take care of his family, he's worse than an unbeliever.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
that.
You understand? And so God is for families thriving. God is for families doing well.
You got 4 minutes to try and beat 93 before the timer goes up.
Okay, cool. Oh, bro.
Not as clean. Okay. It's not too bad.
Because of that wind. Yeah. 94. So we've got a new score.
New score. So you're maintaining that, not last place, but
Oh, cool.
I guess Gabriel will have something to say.
Bro. Oh, bro. At least I'm hitting it though.
Try this. Try the iron. See, it's a bit different.
Okay.
Kind of curve, but see what you can do with it. So yeah, as we sort of starting to round up the convo,
Yeah.
let me let you take this one first. We're gonna feel this one tonight, boy.
Is it?
Yeah. It creeps up on you. If you don't normally work out, you can definitely feel it in the joints.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like, make sure you do some cool downs when you get home.
It needs some swing from about there.
Shall I just give you back the other one?
Yeah, give me back the other one.
Yeah,
You know what it is? This one, yeah.
Acquired taste.
If I hit it, you know it's gonna do some justice. But if you can't reach it, you're wasting your time.
All right, got 2 minutes left.
Okay, cool.
Right, got in. You have to keep your feet planted. Try
Okay.
not to spin. That would have been the one.
Bro, my arms. This thing is mad.
It's crazy. It's not easy, boy. So if I had to ask your children, how would you describe your daddy? What would you think they would say?
I just think they all love me.
Yeah?
They say daddy's kind,
Kind. Okay.
daddy's loving. But you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, you
And
know,
if I asked your missus, what kind of father is he? What do you think she would say?
he could do better. I think everyone will think he could do better. Do you get what I mean? You're never
Okay.
good enough.
So what? Okay, that's a good point actually. What point of improvement do you think she would want for you as a father?
I just think it's the time, bro. It's the time.
Time.
I think
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
I think
Time is of essence, isn't it?
Yeah. But then at the end of the day,
20 seconds. Get one more in. Get one more in. See? When you're not trying to overdo it, you just hit it.
ooh,
I think that's a good way to finish. Let's see what that says. Just short. But you finished on 94.
bro.
Well done, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
cool.
Easy. It's not easy.
Bro, we're coming back. But at least I'm not lost.
That's what everyone says. But yeah.
Wow.
What's the point of improvement? So time.
Yeah.
So, okay. It's one thing to identify.
Yeah, I just think trying to factor in things that are taking up my time. And so I think it's about more discipline with time.
Okay.
I think what usually tends to happen with time is that we have our plans and we have things that are priorities in our life, but it's very difficult in when to switch off. So say for instance, if you have a high pressure job, you got to know when to draw the line.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you say, oh yeah, nah, me, I got to take care, I got to go get my kids from school, or sometimes you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Your colleagues who don't have necessarily children at that same, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And I think even when you've got other things going on, sometimes I'm not really someone recently who's spent that much time with boys because everything has kind of been more focused. Do you understand? But I just think just being more disciplined.
Yeah.
The discipline in time is key.
Okay.
And I think that's, I think once you know how to discipline and handle your time properly, then you know where to place your children in that time. Do you get what I mean? Like say for instance, I was saying to my daughter, she was like, oh daddy, we've got to go watch a movie. So I said, oh damn, my daughter asked, she requested, no matter what's going on, I have to make it happen. Do you get what I mean? And I've spoken to my son and, you know, this is what I'm going to do this day. How do you feel?
Stick into it as
Yeah,
well, isn't it?
do you want to come or shall we arrange another time? And I think sticking to your word is key.
Yeah. Because children hold on to that.
Yeah, they value your words.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, like when you're growing up, you hear those uncles, yes, I will buy you a car. Yes, I will buy you a toy. And they don't buy it. Do you get what I mean? So it's just, but it's a joke, man.
Writing them off, innit?
Yeah,
You
you write them off.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about valuing, you know, your words, I think, and don't over-promise and under-deliver. Do you get what I mean? So that's how basically.
Before we finish off, in terms of, we're all in a space of we're continuing to learn on this journey of fatherhood.
Yeah.
the networks around us,
Yeah.
the fathers around us.
Yeah.
All right. Apart from improving yourself, how do you make sure that you are trying to improve those around you as well, and that you're also learning
I think
from
transparency is key.
Do you know what I mean?
I think transparency.
If you hear someone's doing something
I'm going to
wrong,
say this
would
straight.
you
I'm not the most. I don't think there's anything as a perfect man.
yeah.
I ain't the most perfect man. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I can put my hand up and hold accountability for those mistakes. But I just think, everything is like lessons learned.
Yeah.
And it's about, sharing the benefits of looking at your life now, being married and having a child. Do you get what I mean? Or maybe having the right mentality, or maybe being a bit more patient in certain scenarios. Maybe, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see the benefits of how, do you get what I mean? You know, like in a relationship, you know that maybe this is not making you happy, but I'm not saying that you have to accept it, but it's like you think, I don't want things to scale up and get out of control to the point and extent that everyone else suffers from it. Do you understand? And I think when you bring children into the world, it's a bigger responsibility on you. That's what people fail to realize. If you're gonna, if you're just in a relationship, you get what I mean, it doesn't work out, you can go.
Yeah.
But once you have a child, it's where you gotta kind of be a bit more understanding. And you get people who behave a certain way, thinking that, oh yeah, the grass is greener, bro. They realize that it's really sour blue. Do you get what I mean? So,
yeah, man. But yeah, my brother. I appreciate your time.
It's a blessing. Thank you. It's an honor, man. Thanks for having me.
Well done for getting on the leaderboard.
Yeah, Saturday. I'm not lost.
You're not lost. For the record.
Yes, but it's embarrassing, but I'm not lost.
94. Let's take a picture before you.
Yeah, please.